Excuse me. Here we go. There's usually a little delay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what a beautiful view. Plenty of headspace. You look great. We got Figgy Pudding sleeping there and my friend. So you went to CPAC, you said? And that was awesome? And it was in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of speakers. They had an expo as well.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy, Gordon Chang, I think his name is. He's like really, really, they say he's an expert on China.
Right.
And then they were talking about how many Chinese, they're thinking there was a lot of like Chinese agents or army personnel coming into the border and all that stuff.
Right.
And then there's like little cells and stuff, and they're going to try to destabilize the United States. Like, it was deep, and it was just very concerning.
Right.
Because he said that a lot of Chinese companies, they're buying up land around military installations.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like when we let that happen, I was like, oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So now they introduced a bill, Congress, to not allow that. But, you know, is it a little too late or what?
Yeah, right? That should have been something done 20 years ago, 50 years ago. And we're sort of, you meet out and get little breakout sessions, and there's certain speakers that's talking about different subjects that you can go and listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they were talking about how there's the China's Communist Party in South Korea, and then they're trying to like destabilize the country. Like they're trying to get a grasp on their politics and everything.
Right.
And it was just like, wow, because you know we don't hear about that much,
Right.
but there's just like a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah. Unless you're like super involved in political news and stuff like that, you kind of just, people are busy living their lives. They're not getting involved in all the intricacies of our diplomatic issues. So people got enough problems on their own, whether they're listening to this shit with them. So at least you get to network a little bit, right? Meet some people, right? That kind of thing. Talk to other mayors, I guess. There's other small town like mayors.
There's a couple there, yeah.
Mayors and stuff there. And from Pennsylvania or just all over the country, I guess.
All over the country.
Right. So I get mayors of all towns of shapes and sizes and shit like that. So that's pretty cool. Get to compare notes a little bit, meet some, how's it going with you? What are you doing? Kind of deal.
A little bit.
A little bit. No, or not really.
Not really from other politicians, because a lot of them were on stage.
Yeah, right.
But with other like-minded people from majority Republican Party.
Right.
They basically CPAC is like a Republican kind of
conference.
conference.
Conference, right. What does it even stand for, CPAC? I know I've heard it a million times.
I think it's conservative, I forgot the name. Conservative something action committee, political action committee.
Oh yeah, conservative political action committee, that's it. So, well, here we are. I'm Kirk. That is
Eric Ramirez, mayor of Coaldale.
Mayor of Coaldale. And we are going to chit-chat about whatever you want to chit-chat about. We'll let you, you want to go first with, from your report that you had? You want to go over some of these things?
Yeah, sure.
Give people a little idea of what this is, and we'll go over and we'll go through it.
So basically, I'm the type of person that I like to do a lot of things in the background. You won't see me. I'm not a tit for tat guy. I don't like to showboat. I don't like to attack anybody, whether it's a resident, whether it's a council person or solicitor or anybody, because I think that will be counterproductive, and then that's adding on to toxicity that already exists in Coaldale. In doing my research, I know that there's been toxicity in Coaldale for many, many years before I got here, and I, for one, do not want to engage into that and make the problems worse. I did say, part of my campaign, I did say that I would like to unite the people. I know everybody's not going to do it, but I am trying. I'm trying to work with everyone to try to make Coaldale better. So I learned about not attacking people from former Congressman Charlie Dent from Allentown. He always told me, no matter what someone says about you or they're attacking you and stuff, he said, don't respond back. Continue doing what you're doing, and that's how you show the people what you're doing.
Right.
So,
the proof is in the pudding, right? Is really what it comes down to. Action speaks louder than words.
right. So, I have to apologize that I didn't every month give a mayor's report, because I know Coaldale has been set back a lot, with different things, with blight, with crime, with toxicity in the local government, toxicity within residents, toxicity, new people coming into Coaldale. And
what are you trying to say?
well, I'm new, you're new, right?
Right.
So I like to get things accomplished. I don't want to be the politician that says, we're working on this, we're going to do this, and then everybody's excited about it. They want to, they want to hear like the beautiful outcome of, this project or something good for Coaldale. And then I say, nah, it didn't work out. I'm sorry. And then I don't want you guys to feel let down. So I've been doing things behind the scenes, and I feel like they're some accomplishments. So they're not in order as well, but this is the 22 things that I did for 2024 as your mayor. So I was invited into the Panther Valley Blueprint Community Team as a core member, and speaking with people who were born and raised between the 4 boroughs, they said that this is like the first alliance since 1964. I know that Coaldale and Lansford had an alliance when the Lansford pool was deeded over to them from the mining company, and something happened there. I'm not really too clear because I hear a couple of stories, but anyway, I'm happy that they considered inviting me into the Blueprint Community Team, because I share the same goals as they do to help get their communities together, revitalization. It's not going to happen quick. Look at Tamaqua, for instance. Tamaqua took, I think, almost 20-something years for them to really feel the impact of a lot of these great programs to help build their communities. But look at Tamaqua, they're thriving. So I believe Coaldale could thrive again. It's going to take a while. It's a small town. We don't have a real big tax base like the other boroughs do. We don't have too much. Opportunities for big economic development. Coaldale is somewhat landlocked.
Yeah.
So there is opportunities. You just gotta get creative. And of course, the world goes around with money. So there's no money for a project, there's no project.
When you say first alliance since 1964, so Coaldale and everybody else in Panther Valley has never got together and thought, hey, we should start rebuilding our community since 1964? I
think they've tried it before in other aspects. I had heard about I forgot what it was called. It was called like I forgot what it was called. Where they got together, it was like the something of governments. Okay. I forgot what it was called. I'll find out the name later on.
But they tried to do it before.
They tried to do it, yeah.
It just fizzled out.
Yeah, yeah. And this is aside, of course, from the school district. The school district is our 4 boroughs.
Yeah.
But as far as getting together again officially and having the state back us, basically being in the Blueprint Community Program, this is the first in years.
Right.
And so I'm very excited to participate and like I said, try to help Coaldale.
Right.
Well, help the Blueprint community teams. And I can't really speak too much more about it because I'm not the elected spokesman, the appointed spokesman for this. It's Abby Guardiani. What I could say in closing for the Blueprint, that I am so happy to be part of a large group like that of intellectuals who are awesome people personally. Mm-hmm. I've got to really hang out with them. And I'm learning a lot as well. And this is going to be a great adventure here.
Right. The thing about coming a mayor, like you're coming in a small town, you're not coming with a giant background of politics and how the inner workings of things go. And it's not like you went to mayor school and now you're a mayor, and so you have all this knowledge of how to work as a mayor. You need help, right? And that's good with the Blueprints actually giving you some help with that too.
Oh yeah, I actually have learned so much new things because of them, and it's just making me smarter. It makes me more enthusiastic and supercharged because there's like-minded people, Blueprint people, residents, other people who really want to see Coaldale progress.
Yep. Nice.
So
that's what we need. We need a concerted effort to make it happen.
Yeah.
So nice. All right.
The next thing is I originally said, I had said this at a council meeting, that I was going to donate my whole salary to St. Luke's Senior Meals Program. And then, at the advice of a couple of confidants, people who, some were born and raised here actually in Coaldale. Some other people were born and raised in other boroughs who have the experience and the knowledge of the Panther Valley. And they said, hold on, son, you're getting a little bit too ahead of yourself. He said, donate 3 or 4 months, give out they're like little cards, it says Senior Meal Voucher Program, St. Luke's.
Right.
And they said, see how that works out. So the last time I checked, I think only 3 or 4 people used the Senior Meal card.
Uh-huh.
So then I was like, all right, let me kind of stop that for now, and then, see what else I'm going to work on.
See what else there's a need for the money that you can put it into.
Yeah.
It'll do its best.
Yeah.
So you're doing something with your salary. You're trying to get back in some way.
Yeah.
So it makes an impact.
Yeah.
You can't blame me for that. Not like you're making billions of dollars anyway. I mean, when you make, what is it? It was like $41.10.
$44.10 after taxes.
Right. And so what? Give it back to the community.
Yeah.
So that's good.
The other thing that we did, number 3, in collaboration with the Coaldale Police Department, we contributed and purchased a wheelchair for a Coaldale resident. I won't say her name. She knows who she is, and because I don't like to put people's business out there. But we did it. It was around Christmas time. I think a couple of days before Christmas last year, and that was good, a good feeling to do that for someone who really needed it.
That's the stuff you do that's like behind the scenes that nobody sees, and it's not like you want to go brag about and be like, hey, I did this. It's that's the stuff that a mayor does that nobody sees, and you're not going to go to a meeting and point at yourself and say, look what we did. You just do it. You just do it, and you don't need accolades for it. But, it's nice to point it out because people don't see that there are things that you are doing behind the scenes that are helping people that are not going to be seen or noticed by people. It's just going to be done, and that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Number 4, in conjunction with the Coaldale Crime Watch, volunteered and helped with highway cleanup in October through PennDOT Adopt a Highway program.
Mm-hmm.
This was right there on Route 209. What was it? You did it. You guys did it too.
Yeah, she almost got run over by a deer. The deer ran out of the woods, was running right at her, and we were like, grab it. And she's like, ah! She started screaming, and the deer, luckily for her, ran and jumped over the barrier and took off. And I was like, but it was like within feet. She could have just grabbed it. Nice rack on him and everything. It would have been fun. But she didn't do it. But yeah, we did that. That's a nice time. That's a nice way to get out and meet people in the community and just do a cleanup. And we did it. It's like 2 hours, you're done and over with. And it's a nice walk up and down the town, up and down the street. So more people need to get involved in that.
Yeah. What else? I spoke with Housing Authority, the Ridge Terrace Housing Authority representative, and got new lines painted for the parking lot there. It's the first one. You're coming up Ridge Terrace. there's the community center, and then there's the first parking lot of, I think, about 8 parking spots. I spoke with them about, cause the spots were faded, and they painted 8 lines, and then out of those 8 parking spots, 2 of them are designated handicap. So they painted a fresh, brand new coat of paint with the 2 handicap logos.
Again, little things that nobody, it doesn't need to be praised or look at me. You just do it.
Yeah.
Right? And stuff you don't need to take credit for or can't take credit for, but I guess people don't really realize that you are doing things kind of behind the scenes.
Number 6, initiated and coordinated a grant writing workshop at St. Mary's Russian Orthodox Church in conjunction with the Blueprint community. I think there was over 51 members of the public who attended that workshop. And I got that the space donated for free. No one had to pay for the space, and no one had to pay for the grant workshop either.
Right.
So
nice. Just a free shop, people can come and learn.
Yeah, I was trying to kind of spark that interest in grant writing with like-minded people who might be interested in writing grants for their area, their borough, or even people from Coaldale.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's funny, because grant writing, you read it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's easy, and actually, it's not that easy. You got to type it, you got to do your research, you got to get what do you call this? You got to get support letters, and type it, and then there's a time frame you have to have it in, and then there's also competitive. So
right, other people writing for the same grant.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow! So it's not even like there's this grant here. All you have to do is write this nice thing for it, and we'll give it to you. No, it's you're competing with other places for one grant.
Yes.
And you got to go and hit a home run, a grand slam, throw the Hail Mary, and win, and grab that grant.
Yeah, and then sometimes they don't give it to you, and then that's the kind of downer of that.
Well, that's a pretty, if there's 100 other people writing for one grant, you got to really hope you're the one that's over the top that they want.
Yeah.
So could somebody just like a normal Joe like me write for a grant?
Yes.
Right? So what kind of grant would I write for? If I wanted a grant to, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what I would write a grant for. Like, what would I write a grant for here? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of it. Which, like, okay, would we need a grant to paint the Midas flower girl down here on the borough building? Or do we have to have somebody come in and propose to the borough council, hey, we have paint, we have people, we have the know-how to repaint and redo this whole sign so it's bright and beautiful and it says like welcome to Coaldale on the side of it or something. How does that go down? Do we write a grant for that and then get permission? Can we just get permission to do it? Do we write a grant? Can I get a grant for my garden?
I think so if I'm saying this correctly, let's say you had a for-profit or you had a nonprofit, and your nonprofit is community project, planting flowers or painting, like you said.
Right.
You could write grants for that and hope to get it. Then, of course, if it's borough property, you would have to get the permission of the borough.
Right.
To
do it.
To do that piece.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my little bit of knowledge.
Okay.
When it comes to the grant situation.
That's the biggest thing is like you offer this program, but then it's like, well, what would I even write a grant for? Do I write a grant because I want to hire a guy to paint a mural on the side of my garage? Could I get a grant for that?
No, I think that would be...
It would have to be something like, okay, I want to get a grant to do a beautification on Main Street. We're going to paint 6 buildings, and I need the money to have for the paint, the brushes, the equipment, the time to hire. Now, is it time to hire painters? Did I do that, or am I taking this as a grant project that's on my own, or am I getting a grant and then I'm going to hire painters and they're going to do these 6 buildings for me?
I think they would only give grant money to a for-profit and nonprofit.
So it's a Joe can't get it. You have to be a nonprofit or a profit
so.
A nonprofit. So if I make the Mountain Ridge Project a nonprofit organization, then I can go for grants. Yeah. But me, normal Joe, No grants.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I haven't heard. Every entity that I have heard attempting to get a grant, it's either a municipality,
Right.
they hire a grant writer, a nonprofit or for-profit,
Gotcha.
usually like a church. They're nonprofit, so they might want to start a soup
A
kitchen.
library, like a public library, churches, those kind of deals. Okay. All right.
So
that answers 2 questions for me then. So we're on
and I'm still learning about the grants too. And I've only gotten interested in grant writing because of the Blueprint community.
Right.
Because we had me and Dave Boyle.
Mm-hmm.
We had a meeting with Jesse Walk. He's the manager of the Panther Valley School District here,
Right.
and he's awesome. This guy, he's like the guru of grant writing.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about grant writing because we had showed some interest. And then he goes, "Here you go, guys." And I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it was like I think 30 or something more pages of the grant of the actual application for a grant.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my God. And then you're looking through it and looking through it and looking through it. And then that's where I realized it's not just that easy. Because when you're looking at the grant application book, it has the requirements. So you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. And then when you start really getting into it, you're like, holy crap, this is a lot. Yeah.
It takes a lot of involvement, a lot of work.
Yeah, so he gave us like a 2.5 hour crash course of grant writing.
Mm-hmm.
And it did spark my interest in stuff. And you got to have time too.
Right,
so
a commitment of a writing commitment and a research commitment and know your lingo commitment, grammar and all that stuff. I bet you at this point AI could write a grant.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we probably could. We're at number 7. No? Yes, number 7.
Number 7, I spoke with Housing Authority rep to plow snow for seniors and disabled residents' walkways at Ridge Terrace. Usually you have to do it yourself, but when I spoke with them, they were happy to do it, and they said, you know, who needs it done and stuff. So it all came down to them just doing everybody's walkway, so that they do that every time it snows.
Problem solved. Man. Everybody said good to go. Right?
Because I tried to help a little bit, but I can't do everybody's walkway.
Right. It's not
just
too much shoveling you can do, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, another thing that you're going behind the scenes that nobody realizes you're doing stuff for. So good deal.
And it's always good to try to help out the best that you can. At least you try.
Right.
And that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
What else we have here? We have participated in police committee meetings. I haven't been to every single one, but I have been involved with different council persons who are appointed to that committee to try to help the officers out, whether they need equipment or they want to go to a training or they need a taser, computer equipment, whatever they need. Basically, we entertain that request. And then, of course, I have my recommendations that I give, and then the head of the committee, it was Yvonne Stoffi, and then now it's Councilwoman Gavornik.
Right.
So then she'll bring that back to, actually, Councilman Adamitis, Councilman Hutta are also part of that police committee.
Right.
Then they will bring it back to the council, we'll discuss it, and then...
When do they have these committee meetings? Is that like a certain day of the week? You're like, Thursday, the second Thursday of every month we meet for the police committee.
It was kind of hard because everybody has different work schedules.
Right.
So I know that it was once or twice that, maybe 2 members are available.
Right.
And then another councilman or me, I'm not available.
Right.
And then, we'll decide like, okay, we're still going to have it. We'll bring you up to speed.
Right.
Or maybe I know Councilman Hutta called in one time and he was participating in it via phone. I've been called,
right,
and they're like, "Hey, this is what we're thinking. What do you think?" Mm-hmm. And then ultimately, the council will vote on it if they want. If they want to vote on that, they might not.
Right.
They have to look at the budget. They have to see if it's something that's really necessary.
You're right.
Because it is, if an officer comes and says, "Hey, I want this, I want that, I want a boat, I want this, I want that," and then there's
there's a certain process you have to go through for all of that. So yeah, but that's understandable. That's understandable. So yeah, I can't complain about that. 9.
I participated in ongoing budget meetings in 2024 and for 2025 budget prep. Mayors do have the power of veto for all tax resolutions. Well, there's only one. For a tax resolution and for any ordinance, a mayor can veto it.
Right.
So I did send down the pipeline that I'm not for tax increases. I didn't come out and say, well, I'll veto this, I'll veto that. I just said it. I'm not for tax increases. So that kind of tells you right there where my mind is. I know sometimes you need tax increases, but I really think that the proper way is to try to balance the budget and not have tax increases. Sometimes they do happen, but I'm not for them. Well, that was my number 10. My number 10 is, since being mayor, your taxes have not been raised for 2 years since I've been mayor. Number 11, I lobbied for Coaldale to get into the stamp program.
What does that mean, STMP?
It's a strategic management program for distressed boroughs, distressed cities. So we get a rep, we get someone who has helped distressed municipalities kind of get back up to speed. They help out in the office. They give us a lot of the consultation as far as, we think you shouldn't do this, or you should not spend money on this, or you need to eliminate this program and you could save money here. So they're like the big experts in this. So we got into the program last year, and it has been a blessing. Having her name is Barbara. I don't know her last name.
Right.
But because I haven't been really deep into the whole thing with stamp. I've been to the office a couple of times, and she's been there, and I've had a couple of questions I wanted to know answers on them. And she's very knowledgeable. She's been a blessing to Coaldale, helping us try to get things in order and try to progress.
Are we paying for this? Does our tax money pay for this program, or is it something that's kind of like it's granted to us because we're so in the hole that we need so much help? Like
we have to match it. I think I believe the borough paid, I think it was $6,000, and then there was a grant,
right? And
they picked up the rest of the tab.
Okay,
I think this is a.
How long is this? Will this lady be with us here then?
I think she's been with us, I don't know, 6 months now.
Right, she'll be another year or another 6 months.
It depends.
Is there a point where she's like, okay, you guys are kind of like like the bird out of the nest and let you go? Or?
No, we need them. They still, like, we can call them and ask for their assistance and stuff. Like if something went wrong or if we needed advice on something, she's there.
She's not perpetually in the office 24 or 5 days a week,
no.
8 hours a day. No, it's hey, we need some advice on this situation, or we need something like this. What's the best?
Yeah, she'll come in and she'll look at everything, like our payroll system, anything with like the sewer, anything with the garbage. Like she's like this guru,
right,
on helping municipalities get out of being financial distress areas.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm kind of under the weather a little bit here. So.
Oh, come on. You're coming here with sickness to me? My Lord.
Participated in Blight workshop at the hometown fire department in October 2024. Blight, yeah, that's another issue. That's it's a lot of moving pieces in the whole blight fight.
Yeah.
When I first because as a constable, I don't work with council members. As a constable, you work by yourself or another constable, but basically you're going out to go arrest people or serve a civil process on them.
Right.
So it's totally different from being a councilman or a mayor, and there's a lot to learn. It's not something that you just come kind of once a month and you do your 2.5 hours at the meeting and then bye. There's a time commitment.
We mean being the mayor.
Yeah, well, in council too, I've actually seen council persons who have come from work or came before work and they dealt with something that had to do with the borough, and they've given 3, 4, 5 hours, countless phone calls, and it's not a job, like I said, that you just come in 2 hours, bye-bye, and then the whole month you don't do nothing else. It's not like that.
Yeah, and that's what I said when I've been asking for candidates to run, is you need to commit 20 to 30 hours a week for free, basically, to really get a grasp, learn what you need to learn just about being a council person, but also then doing the necessary steps and things that help operate a borough.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I'm hopeful that we're going to get more candidates on Wednesday. Are you coming Wednesday to the meeting?
I can't come Wednesday. I'm going to be working.
Okay.
So yeah, we're guarding, actually, I don't like to say where we work, but we're actually at a big department store, and we're guarding millions of dollars of jewelry.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So.
All right. We'll let that go. So where you're at, number 13.
13, guided a resident with obtaining a permit for an Easter egg hunt for the kids. That was it was a great experience. I actually went for a couple of hours, just hung out a little bit. Kids had a great time.
Are you going to this year's Easter egg hunt?
Yeah.
I think you should wear a shirt that says mayor on it.
Yeah.
So everybody knows who you are.
I heard that there was another Easter egg hunt. I think it's done at the Rod and Gun Club.
Yeah, right.
Coaldale. So I kind of felt bad because I'm like, I missed that one. Usually a mayor or a council person, they'll hop around to each event and
right.
to show
Take
support.
you around. Just put you in the back of my truck and put some Easter chickens in there, and we'll take you around and sit you there. And
I might get eggs thrown on me or something.
Oh,
Mayor, you're not around. You're not around here.
Right. Well, you start making appearances, and then we hopefully we'll throw eggs filled with chocolates in them. That'd be nice. I hope so. Yeah, don't throw eggs at you in my vehicle. I don't want that to happen. So no one throwing no eggs if you're in my vehicle.
That's why I'm telling you guys about all these things that I'm doing. So when you see me, you can say, "You're not doing anything for us."
Right, you're doing it. So this is the one here, the next 14 and 15. I think that people are going to have a lot of questions for in our Q&A, but I'll even ask a couple here.
Okay.
You go ahead and hit 14 and 15.
Okay. So I offered a solution since I was a constable. I'm familiar with a lot of their powers given to them by law. Things do change as well. So I wanted a constable to come up to do a presentation in front of the council and in front of the residents to explain to them that there is a possible service that we can take advantage of, and for them to get a better understanding of what a constable is and what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just food for thought, since we're going through the situation that we don't have a full active police department at this time.
Right.
I was just trying to throw different ideas along with other council persons if they have ideas, and just try to come up with a solution. Basically, is the end goal.
It's better to come up and try and throw as much as you can at the wall to see what sticks versus not throwing anything and then you have no solutions whatsoever. I think the problem with that, not that there's a constable, but that was something that should have been maybe even held at the theater, and people could have come and had it just for that, not thrown in an hour presentation before a council meeting when people just want to get in and out of that council meeting. They don't want to be there for an hour. So anytime there's any of those presentations, I would work on coordinating those and maybe doing them here on a separate night, on a Saturday night or something like that. I mean, I hate to close the theater down for movies, but on a day that people could come and really sit and focus on it, And even then live stream it as well. So that way they can go back and watch the video and it's just concentrated on what he was presenting. And then people can like write down questions. Because if you were ready and prepared to write questions down as he presented his thing, then at the end when you ask questions, you're like what was I going to ask?
Yeah.
You could be able to come up and ask questions. So for future things that go on like that in any way, I would totally recommend doing it somewhere where people can, at least if you're going to give a presentation, make it that people can ask questions and you're not trapped in a borough council meeting where you want to just be borough council related. Not something like that really.
Well, I had an idea. After this meeting, I started thinking about the blight issue, the ordinances and enforcement and everything. And I think a lot of people don't really know kind of the process when there is a blighted property. Mm-hmm. So I started thinking about it. I said, why don't we try to get a big community meeting together?
Right.
And what we learned in the blight workshop in October, why don't we explain to the residents here that if a property, say, if it gets condemned,
right,
what the law allows.
Yeah, right.
And then, because what I learned through one of the blueprint trainings, there's I don't know if it's been passed yet. It's called the Transparency Act, I think it was called. Mm-hmm. And it talks about everybody knows about the whole thing with the slumlords. They try to go under the radar, patch up these houses that they buy for cheap.
Yep. And
then they try to rent it New York City prices because they know people want to get out of like Allentown or New York or Jersey. And they violate a lot of the codes, the zoning codes and stuff like that. And a lot of these slumlords, they hide behind the LLCs.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to cite them or you're trying to look for them, it could even have a fake name with the address registered to a P.O. box in New York City. So how are you really going to serve that person or really cite the person?
Right.
So with this Transparency Act, it's another tool to help in fighting against that, where I think as of 2025, the landlord or the owner of that property has to list his name, his address, and
right.
there's a couple of other
company
things.
Nonsense, and a backup person.
Yeah,
right,
like he can't just slip through the cracks and then he's Joe Blow.
Is this how Coaldale is handling rentals from now on? Is going to be through this Transparency Act, where we have that backup information. It's not ABC LLC. It's John Smith, ABC LLC, John Smith at this address with this number, not just the LLC in a P.O. box.
Yeah, I think a lot of the boroughs are going to move to implement this so that, because basically a lot of these individuals, they'll get properties here in Coaldale, let them go to crap, and then they'll disappear, leave it there, and the place could be falling down, and then we can't just seize the property because there's laws against that. So then you have to do the process of trying to get a conservatorship on that property and then maintain it. I think the owner can actually come back and say, no, that's my property. Thank you very much. And then the judge would have to decide if he's going to get it back or not. But it just gets into like a long legal battle and it's a waste of resources to kind of do that. There's individuals who might have passed away. They don't have relatives to take the house.
Right.
The house might go to sheriff's sale.
Right, and just sitting there rotting away.
And then the other thing too about properties is, I think the zoning officer or the code enforcement officer would be able to say, okay, this property needs to be demolished. There's no saving the structure. Mm-hmm. Because as the structures say, you tore down 30 houses here. And I learned this the hard way because I'm like, yeah, blight, let's tear this down, let's do this. Somebody tells me, okay, so you're depleting the tax base because now you can't have property taxes on an empty lot.
Yeah.
He tells me, and I'm like, oh, okay. So it's not it's not like a quick fix, snap of your finger. There's a property, yeah, I'm going to tag it. We're just going to knock it down. Like it's
there's a
process.
There's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
You know, on top of having to deal with, like I said, these slumlords, if you can find them, you know, it's a hassle, but we're little by little, we're getting their numbers, as they say, and we're going to be checking them very soon so that we can like stop all this, because it's making our neighborhoods look disgusting. It's devaluing a lot of the properties around it. There's mices and cats and everything and garbage in there.
Garbage, right?
You know, so I get that a lot of residents are frustrated because of this. And, you know, we feel your frustration too. So, but things are going to be done about it. It's, like I said, it's just not a snap of your finger, you know, overnight.
It's a process. It's been going on for so long now. It's caught up and now we got to fix it. And somebody has a question. People are advertising rooms for rent, shared houses. Is the borough going to manage that?
They should. Right. They should, because I think you have to get an occupancy permit. And
okay.
Yeah, and a lot of
then
these...
what, Coaldale would issue that?
I believe they do, yes.
Okay.
And a lot of these people, they, like I said, they'll try to function under the radar because they don't want to pay this, they don't want to pay that, or they know that that house or that building, it might not pass inspection. Mm-hmm. So they try to get away with it. But I know the borough is doing their best to try to identify a lot of these buildings, these houses, to try to be able to have have a knowledge of like what's going on here, what's going on there, what's going on there.
Yeah, right. Especially when it comes to renters and who's renting and making sure it's safe for people to be living there.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is the safety of people living there.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got here? Number 16. Wait, we're on number 15. Sorry.
So I was recruiting 2 officers, actually. One was actually retired. And I, at the same time as we started losing our police department, I have had the good luck of bumping into this one officer. He's still working part-time at Bangor Police Department. And he's my nephew's friend's husband's sister's husband. So I ended up meeting him, and he was having his like congratulations party celebration for him becoming a police officer. And he's working, like I said, at Bangor. So I started talking to him about Coaldale. And he, of course, he has a family, he's looking for benefits, he's looking for full-time. So I threw that idea out to the police committee, like, okay, let's have a backup for plan A, which we're trying to, I can't talk too much about it, but we're looking at contracting with another place to do our police services.
Right.
So I said, if that doesn't work, let's have a plan B.
Right.
So I practically recruited him, and he has been asking me like, okay, so, you know, what's going on? And I'm like, hold on, you know, we're working on it, because it's not something that we just want to just jump into and, you know, okay, you're Coaldale Police, okay, that like.
Yeah, this negotiation's over. You're Coaldale Police now.
Yeah, we want to take it slower, and we want to do the right thing.
Yeah, think it through. Don't knee-jerk reaction through. I think a lot of things happen over years where it's been, we got to do something, and let's do this. Yeah. And they do something, and it's the wrong answer, and it makes things worse. It's been a lot of, we made a wrong decision, let's try and fix it. Oh, this didn't fix it. So, yeah, it's take their time and decide it out. I mean, Coaldale's definitely a place of FAFO. I mean, if you want to come around here and mess around, you're going to find out real quick it's not the place to do it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's good to kind of get people.
So yeah, they've been doing that, and that's great too. You know, they've been taking their time, they're looking at everything, and that's how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know, so I did tell him I'm hoping we don't lose him if we do go the route of rebuilding our police department again. And then there was another individual. He has shown interest of being a police officer here as well.
Right.
So we kind of got that there. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna have another meeting soon. I know we tried to have a police committee meeting, I think about 2 weeks ago, and our schedules conflicted.
Right.
So I know we're gonna get together very soon, and hopefully we should have some more answers at the
Right.
next council meeting.
Yeah.
And then just take it day by day and try to make things work the right way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, do it right. Don't hurry through it. Do it right. Make sure it works for everyone long term. Not just something for 6 months. And now we're doing something different, and maybe that'll work. Yeah, we got to find a good solution. Just take our time.
sorry.
Work at it. You all right? Sip.
Yeah.
Take a sip. We're on number 16. Now we're on number 16.
All right. So November 2024, volunteered to distribute food at the Panther Valley Food Bank. We served over 515 households. A total of 921 individuals.
That's only in Panther Valley, or is that surrounding communities too?
I think it's just Panther Valley.
Giant need people with food.
Because they have to fill out like a survey, and some of them don't want to put their address or anything like that. But a lot of the people are from these areas here, and they do this once a month, and it's at the middle school there in Nesquehoning.
Right.
And it was a pleasure to see people who are fixed income, older folks, be able to have a couple of meals, because this food bank didn't just give you like one little bag, like in Allentown. Not trying to be ungrateful, but they give you just one bag, one kind of sauce, one kind of spaghettis, maybe a loaf of bread or something, and that's kind of about it, because there's just so much more people over there.
Yeah, right.
But it was something that I felt really great about it after seeing people, because you could tell they were hungry. A lot of them they didn't.
Yeah, this is where they're getting their meal.
Yeah. So and it broke my heart too at the same time.
Right. Yeah, it's good to get back, and also breaks your heart because you see like, wow, people live. It makes you a little more grateful for what you do have. That you're like, wow, I take so much for granted. I really don't even realize it. Yeah. Nice. You're number 17.
I didn't want to mention this one, but and I won't say no names.
Is it Cousin Linda?
I intervened in a mental health crisis with a borough resident. It resulted in a positive outcome. I usually do not give my phone number out or really want people coming to my house. They've done it already. And
I'm sure living on the corner of 5th and Royal, people see it all the time.
I'm surprised you don't have a whole line. People knocking.
I'm surprised. I'm happy that they're not throwing eggs at me, which is nice. At least that's that positive. Or anything else, rocks. So it's nice to have support.
Yeah. So this individual, it had to do with, he was in love with a woman. He wanted to be with her.
It's always a woman.
And she didn't share the same thoughts. And he told me, hey, it was nice knowing you. If you don't ever see me anymore, and I'm all like, oh, what, you moving out of town? You moving to another country or something?
As soon as it says that, you're kind of like,
And he goes, no, I'm going to heaven. And I'm like, what? And then I got dressed right away on my day off. I went and picked him up, and I went to take him to Beacon Diner. They were closed. We ended up at McDonald's there, and I talked to him for about 3.5 hours. So because I've been there, done that. I have my own experiences, and I was able to relate to him loving someone and them not loving you back and stuff. And, I felt bad. He wasn't a young guy either, but I spoke to him. He didn't commit suicide, but he actually ended up going to jail.
oh,
Yeah. So.
not for the woman. Did he go? Was it?
Yeah. So.
Women. Women. All right, number 18. But that's a good thing that you do that goes unheralded. It's just something you do because you're a decent person, right? It doesn't need to be spoken about, but
I try.
it's not like you're just hanging out in your house, going to work. You can show up for 2 hours and do your meeting and roll out, right? So, nice. All right, number 18.
Spoke with Micah Gursky from St. Luke's Hospital in attempting to set up a meeting with St. Luke's board to request funding for police body cams.
Obviously, the table because of what's going on. Mike Ogurski is at the hospital. Who is?
He's like the manager of the hospital,
Okay.
and I have a good relationship with him, and I know that St. Luke's Hospital donates money to us.
Yeah.
They donated, I think, about $17,000 to Coaldale. So
Like over in 1 year, that's
every year.
Usually they donate about that amount.
Yeah,
and
every
it just
year.
goes to whatever we feel.
It goes to the general fund, and then it gets
dispersed to what all
from there.
kinds of things. So they never give us anything specific for like the fire department or for nothing to say, here's some dough, don't do anything stupid with it.
That I was gonna try to get $8,000 to $10,000 more because the body cams are expensive, and I just wanted to see if they would help us out,
right,
and donate to us towards the police budget, because we're budgeted a year a certain amount. Of course, if it goes over that, then that kind of creates issues, and then sometimes you have to borrow from another fund or this, and so I was just trying to come up, of course, with different options for us. The grant writing, try to get money for the police department
right.
Donations, anything like that. So I did it with the body cams in mind. But then he said, well, you guys don't really have a department, so I think we should kind of table that for now.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You see if we can hit them up for money for something else.
I guess.
Right? Why not?
Yeah.
They're willing to be donationable, right? Let's see if we can find something else for them to donate to.
Well, he didn't say we're going to give it to you. He goes, you got to come in front of our board and talk to our board first, and then they will decide. Right. So,
So when you talk to the board, is that the board of like St. Luke's, or is that the board of St. Luke's in Coaldale? Like St. Luke's?
I don't know if they're the board, because I haven't gotten that far, but I don't know if it's the board for all their hospitals, that one board, or if it's just,
Okay.
Because he said, well, since you don't have the police department, it's kind of a moot issue. And I agreed. And he goes, why don't we table it, see what happens, and then we can kind of revisit that idea depending on what happens.
Right.
So, but I'm trying different things.
You got to try different approaches. Again, throwing something at the wall, see what sticks. You got to just keep going and going and keep trying.
Yeah, because once we didn't have a department, I felt very bummed out about it. I kind of felt like I failed and stuff like that, and I don't like to quit. I did feel I was angry, and I felt down about losing the department, and
Did you see it coming, or was it kind of like a whole surprise in a way?
I did ride-alongs with each of the officers, and we spoke, and I asked them questions, and I asked them, anything you want to ask me. I was very open with them, and I'm pro-police, so I'm very supportive of them.
Right.
And I told them, I said, call me, any questions, anything you need me to relay anything to council, because basically the mayor's like the intermediary between the council and the officers.
Right.
So usually they'll say, hey, mayor, we need, we need tasers or something. Then we meet with the committee. The officers are allowed to be in the meeting as well if they want to.
Right. The executive committee meeting, or just regular meetings?
No, the police committee meeting.
Oh,
they can come to those. Right. No, not the executive session. No.
Okay.
So, they'll come and they'll say, hey, we want this, we want that, and then we discuss it, and then it goes through the police committee's recommendations, and then they have to convince 4 other council members to vote on if they needed 4 tasers we got.
Yeah.
So, that's how that works for that.
Okay.
That process.
19.
I attended the mayor's conference in 2024 to increase my skills and learn about working with council and managing police departments. At first, I wasn't really too familiar with Title VIII as far as the mayor getting reimbursed for going to a conference.
Right.
And so I did go, and then I did get reimbursed by the borough. for the expenses of the mayor's conference. I learned a lot, and I'm really glad that I went because I met there was about 75, 80 other mayors there throughout Pennsylvania.
Wow. Holy shit.
And there was guest speakers. There was the lieutenant governor came. Right. He did a speaking engagement. The then attorney general was Michelle Henry.
Okay.
And she spoke, and then it was in Johnstown last year. So the mayor of Johnstown came and everything, and it was a really, really great 3 to 4 days of learning.
Right.
So I try to implement what I learned here in Coaldale for you guys.
Right.
Because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. What do you learn? Like, do you learn a lot of, like, the laws you have to follow as the mayor, like what your purview is and what's expected of you? Is that what you learn?
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like an intro to being a mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got a lot of my, what I learned about Title VIII and the mayor's powers and duties. And I think that if I research anyway.
Right.
I'm a go-getter. But knowing the proper things to do and how to be a mayor, I think it's very important that any candidate or any mayor who's a new mayor should attend this conference.
Yeah, I absolutely think you need to be educated as much as possible on how that all works for you so you can make the best of what your situation is versus being thrown in. Now you're the mayor, you just kind of hang out and you take pictures at an event here and there, and then you go to a borough council meeting and yeah, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
So you got number 20.
Aside from being a mayor, in my past experiences before I moved up to Coaldale, I was a part of a lot of my friends. They're into politics in Allentown and surrounding, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Some of them are elected, are in. Some of them were in. And I've learned a lot of door knocking, GOTVs, get out the vote,
right,
phone banking and everything, and going to community events. So I was invited by, they're called Make the Road. They are an advocacy group to lobby our state legislators, senators on the school funding that was owed to Panther Valley School District. It was a big lawsuit about the underfunded school districts. Mm. I know Allentown was one of the plaintiffs. Panther Valley was one of the plaintiffs. That case was won, and the state owes these school districts money. Mm. So, with this group of over 200 parents, it was parents mixed in. There were legislatures there that I saw. Make the Road, people from Philadelphia, Allentown. We went up. We had the what do you call it? We were in front of the Capitol steps. We were talking about this issue, and then we broke up into little groups, and we went into the Capitol, and we were lobbying the legislatures like, we need this money, because they have to speak to the governor,
right,
and say, hey, we gotta allot this much because we owe the school districts this and that. Right. It has to be in the budget. Mm-hmm. So what I found out, the successful result of our combined lobbying, we are going to be getting $2.1 million in 2025 for the Panther Valley School District.
Nice.
That's amazing.
That's a good one, dude. Mm-hmm. So you helped to get $2.1 million for Panther Valley School Districts.
Well, it was the lawyers who won the case first.
Right, but you lobbied and you helped be a part of making something like that happen. Yeah, right? That's the stuff that you're doing that you're not bragging about. It's your time to go to the Capitol to do all this stuff, to do these lobbyings, mm-hmm. to get money to do stuff. So, mm-hmm. Right, nice.
I lobbied council. They were anyway, but I lobbied council to hire a code enforcement officer, who of course ended up being SDE, systems design and engineering,
Yeah, right,
Lewis Negron. And then I also lobbied council for the audits, which the audits are getting done little by little, and we should have some answers soon. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, because I heard that they said that the mayor gets paid to sit up there and he doesn't do anything and he's always quiet. Like I said, I have my own style. I'm not a attack someone, a resident or a council. You this, I don't showboat like that. Because I believe that we're all in the same goal, focused on the same goal of getting our borough better. And I don't want to report bad news every month. If you guys want me to, I'll have a report every month. I don't mind. But I want to give you guys little, how you say this, little battles to win the big war.
Right. The little victories and the little battles.
That's
that
how
go towards chipping away at the big war.
That's how I see it. And I want you guys to know that I'm out there fighting for you, and I'm human. I feel a lot. I do work full time as well. I own my own business. It's a security company, and I jump around everywhere. I might be at work one day and then coming to a community meeting at night, and then back to work, or a meeting in the morning and then work at night. So I'm trying. I can't do it alone. I know I'm not alone, and I'm here. And there's many more things to come that I'm going to try to get accomplished. And I haven't decided if I was going to run for re-election again. I was going to have an answer tonight, but one of my reservations are that if I'm going to be your mayor, I want to be here. And I'm only speaking for myself. If I'm not able to give you my full attention for the needs that you guys have, I shouldn't be the mayor then. There should be someone else who can give you all the time you need. I'm not saying that I'm not running. I haven't decided. There's a couple of contracts that we're working on, and from there I'll know if I'm going to be available a whole lot more or a whole lot less. And I know I have to make my decision. The petitions have to be in March 11th. So I'll know if I'm able to. If you guys want me to be your mayor, I'm all for it. I'll try to do my best. That's all I could say. That I could promise that I will try my best.
That's all I can ask for, right? Try your best.
Yeah.
So you haven't decided whether or not you're going to run it yet.
That's the only reservation. Former Chief Krebs, he I felt that when he said it. He said, "I wish you were around more," and I felt bad. I really felt bad because I've been a mayor almost 2 years. Mm. I've only missed 2 meetings.
Right.
I've come to the rest. Council meetings, and then other meetings, blueprint. I try to make a lot of those because there's training involved with that too. And I want to be your mayor, but like I said, it's not fair for you to have an absent one, especially with the issues that are going on. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't want to be. But yeah, if you guys want me to be, of course, the ballot box is May 21st.
Something like that, yeah.
Tuesday is the primary election. My decision will be, of course, announced way before that time, so you'll know. And if you guys think I'm doing a great job, hey, let me know. I'm here to hear you. I want to hear feedback from you. And another thing too, I did have a meet the mayor. I think it was the first 2 months when I got appointed.
Mm-hmm.
I got appointed, it was August 8th of 2023.
Right.
And I think it was September and October, I had 2 Meet the Mayor days. Only 2 people came.
Jeez.
I can do another one. I can do it again. That's not a problem. I just discontinued it because 2 people came. So if I decide not to run, I'm still the mayor till I think it's December 31st.
Right. Or whatever they inaugurate or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
the other person would run from there.
Yeah.
You think anybody else is doing? I think it's your job.
So I do plan. I do have some ideas for more things to come. I have a lot of ideas, and like I said, I can't do it alone. And there's 7 other individuals plus our solicitor who sit up there. I can't make them do things. I can't tell them what to do. We all have to come together in collaboration for the betterment of Coaldale and get things accomplished. I know a lot of people think being a councilman or mayor is easy. It's not that hard either, but it's not. You get elected, you're gonna come in, this and this. It's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of things you have to do to make sure that that's gonna be the right decision. And then you have to convince 3 other colleagues to vote with you, total 4, on that ordinance or that contract for, say, the garbage or the sewer, things like that. It's not a quick thing. You have to make sense of it, and it has to work for the people, because that's who we work for. We're elected by the people, and we work for the people. So we have to go into this with that mindset. Is this good for the people? Because it's not about one individual person. It's all of us. It takes a village to save a village. That's what I say. Instead of it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to save a village.
Yeah.
And it's all of us together, residents and politicians, state, local, everybody. I talk a lot.
So somebody said to meet the mayor today.
Questions. Q&A's after. I have the
Well, I
questions.
guess it's
Are we done?
yeah. You ready to do some questions?
Sure. Yeah.
The Q&A. You have some written down. You want to go over
Yep.
those first?
Yes.
All right. Go
So, starting at the beginning, there was a suggestion, speed bumps in lieu of the police presence, helping to slow people down in the roads, causing less accidents.
Sweet bones, okay.
So, that was a suggestion. I don't know, you may not know the answer. Second question is, when will the alley at Fisher Avenue reopen?
I know who that is.
Are you gonna answer? Are you writing them down now and answer them later? Are you gonna answer them now, or are you gonna go?
I mean,
As
if
we
you
go?
don't know, I mean
I can tell you this.
Yeah.
If I don't know an answer of something, I will look for it, and I can get back to you. I don't know, because I think it's that building, the one that's gonna fall down almost.
oh, is that
I think it's that one there. It's on Fisher, up the hill, up the alley of Fisher, and then on the corner there of that's not Phillips.
Is it the one right here down the street here? That building that's falling there? That's not. That's like First Street and Phillips, right? That one.
I think it's Phillips, and I don't know. I forgot that other street, but I know which one they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
so that goes along with the blight issues where
Well, what I could do is I'll call Louis Negron, because he's the one who handles that, just like I did for a couple of other residents. They had a question, and I gave his phone number to them. I like to ask permission first all the time, which he never tells me no anyway. He's always happy to speak to them and inform them of what's going on.
Fisher and Lehigh.
Fisher. Mm-hmm. That sounds right. Yeah, so I can do that. I can get that answer for you in the next couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
The speed bumps issue.
Costs money. That's the problem.
Yeah, because I don't know. I might have to speak to a representative of PennDOT
Right.
Yeah.
To see about that too, because honestly, this is not like my specialty here.
Right, that's the streets department.
Yeah, I'm
And then
more.
it becomes an issue of having to pay for it, having to do a motion and approve a motion.
It does suck when you have to plow because we have
Yeah,
temporary
there's a plow
ones at
issue
work.
too that comes into play.
Yeah.
So I think speed bumps are. I wonder if you could put like just even on Fifth Street when people come down Fifth Street, they go right through with the stop sign on a ruddle and just go like stop sign cameras.
Yeah.
And then if you blow a stop sign, boop, it takes your picture and just sends you a ticket. I wonder if that kind of stuff would work around town in different spots and it could be maneuvered.
Yeah.
But then we have the pair of borough workers to do that, and then that becomes, now the borough workers are doing this. So
There's another thing too that I was going to be looking into for this year. And I've actually witnessed this in a ride along with one of our officers. People speeding when the bus is stopped and it has the stop sign out blinking and you see kids coming off the bus, do not pass it. Okay?
yeah, right?
Do not pass
you
it.
learn that when you're driving school.
I know in Allentown they have cameras on the I think outside of the bus. So if you do that,
You should.
they get your plate
You
Yeah.
should.
and you're gonna
Yep.
get a real fat ticket.
Or
but-
they just shoot the tires out. I think that's better.
Right?
Shoot the tires out. Absolutely.
Or shoot one of those things from Fast and Furious. Remember when they were in the helicopter?
Yes.
It was part 2. They shot this like arrow thing and then it disabled the car.
Yes.
It just stopped working.
Yep.
Just
Absolutely.
so please do not do that. The kids are important. Their lives are at risk. And just stop. Just stop.
Where you need to go is less important than a
And it takes
child's
a
life.
stop for 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep getting things Fisher and Lehigh, High and Foster, Fisher and High.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere on Fisher.
It's Fisher. And it seems like everywhere on Fisher.
It's the whole block.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole area.
So the next 2 questions kind of have to go along with the Transparency Act. Some of these I kind of reworded their statement into a question. But how is the borough managing owners from renting out rooms? Can they?
If they know about it first, I believe that owner has to do an occupancy permit, and I think he has to list the residents who live there. And I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar with that process, but I will find out. I definitely will find out and get you that answer as well. Because like I told you, if I don't know, I will look for the answer for you because I don't know everything. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
I hear that.
So I will find out.
Nice.
And then the second part of that question was, will the borough enforce the Transparency Act? Meaning, do they have like a reporting system for, BlackRock and the other company?
Yeah.
And again, I know we spoke about that at the Blight Conference, that every township has issues with that, with the LLCs.
I think that Transparency Act I guess they're trying to figure out how they're going to implement it, how the reporting system is going to be. I know I heard that the county was going to be involved in some way as far as adding like kind of extra teeth to the situation, because a lot of the small boroughs, if you have to get into litigation, that costs money. So I think they're going to be, I don't want to speak for the county because this is not one of my specialties, of course. I'm interested in learning, of course, more. I'm learning as you guys are learning. But because mayors, we manage the police department.
Right.
We do enforce the ordinances through our police department, through the zoning guys, code enforcement. So a mayor is, of course, supposed to know about all these things too, so that he's able to properly address that issue. But I will find out because I was involved in I think it was a webinar on the Transparency Act. And I know they were talking about the county and all that stuff. So I am going to find out more. And like I said, I can get back to you on that as well.
The next one, would you support an open budget? More understanding of like what the strip mine and the hospital contribute to the town. Kind of making your own Doge.
That kind of reminds me of one of the candidates. He was running for council in Allentown, and he spoke about this. I've never forgot this because I think it was genius. He spoke about performance audits to see which department is wasting money, where the money's going to, all this stuff. So of course, I'm definitely open to that. I actually was even thinking about someone who is really good with the budget to kind of do like a question and answer session, go down like all the line items and explain what that is and why we spend money on this and all that stuff. Because I'm not the guru of the budget at all, I can tell you that. But I know there was, his name was Lou Hirschman. He was Allentown City Council back in the 90s to 2000s, I believe. He was a fiscal watchdog. This guy was good. He would go down every single line item of the Allentown budget, and he was just like, he was an accountant. And he found wasted money on this and that, and he was real good. So I think that would be great for you guys to, if you wanna bear the few hours of learning what the budget is about and why we spend this, why we spend it. I'm open for it. I could probably get something together.
Why don't they ever let us know which money is being spent on what? Like, how come there's not like every month we spent money on this and this and this. We had a plumbing issue here. We spent money on this. We spent $1,000 on locks. We spent $500 on this. Why can't that be shown every month to the public what was spent the month before?
I think this is just my opinion. I think that we're going to need a real big bulletin board to kind of put everything like say we spent $1,000 on this pipe, $1,000 on this, on that, before but I don't think that, I know that the budget is in that glass case. When you go into the Borough Hall, the window there, I know right behind it, there's a glass case, and then they always put the budget there.
What was spent every month?
Not what was spent every month.
Just the budget of the town.
Just the budget, and I don't see why a resident can ask for it.
I don't want to ask for it. I would just want them to give it to us. It should be just done. It should be part of the process of every month. The previous month's spending is made available to the public so we can see what our tax money is being spent on every month to the nickel. Everything that was spent and what it was spent on.
Okay.
Right? Let us know what we're seeing, where the money's going.
No.
Right?
As long as it's not Sesame Place in Iran.
Yeah, when they were talking about that, with the whole Doge thing.
Yeah.
What was ironic? I went to CPAC this weekend in Washington D.C. It was so crazy that the president was talking about that people were scamming the Social Security system, and there was someone who has been getting checks for years, and this person was 275 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it was like the United States didn't even exist
that far along.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow. It's crazy. So, you had any more questions?
Sure.
There was, if you do have more Meet the Mayors, can you have some after work hours?
Right. Yeah, because somebody was saying it was done during work hours, so it was hard to call and Meet the Mayor. So do it like do it on a Saturday night at like Revere. A Saturday night at Revere where everybody can go to have a beer
VW.
or
yeah,
the
support
VW,
local.
support local.
Yeah, I'm a very, besides work, I wouldn't mind. I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can talk to me. Anybody can ask me questions. Like I said, if I don't know it, I'll find the answer for you. I actually was thinking if I ran again, I was actually thinking of having a desk and office hours at the police department. Once upon a time, former Chief Krebs, we had talked about that. Me having a desk there and
just having an open door policy, they'll come in and chit chat with you and see you.
Yeah, I'll do coffee and everything. I do beer too. We could meet at the Rod and Gun Club. We could meet at the Revere.
You can do it even at the Rod and Gun Club, VFW. Local, we'll have a Saturday night. Hey, from 8 to 10, come get drunk with the mayor.
There you go.
Right?
I'm gonna have to walk home that day, because
I'll be playing people.
I don't want to get arrested.
I don't think we have to worry about that, bro.
2 more questions. This one, they asked how your relationship with borough members. They specifically said a specific one, but we're going to go to all of them. How's your relationship with all the borough members?
I talk to some more than others. I'm a very straight up person. We all make mistakes. I don't try to, like I said, I don't try to attack them. Like, hey, it's your fault. You did this. I have my questions that I ask, and they call me. I believe we work together. We work okay together. We all have to respect each other's opinion about things. I try not to take things too personal, and I think we have a great relationship, I would say, unless there's something I don't know. But as far as in conversations, a lot of them are open to discussing things, and a lot of them, they teach me things too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've already been living here for 3 years. There's certain council members who've been here 20, 30 years. I think they were even born here.
Yeah.
So I'm always open to learning where I live. I do know that Coaldale was incorporated in 1827, and we're going to have our 200-year anniversary coming up in 2027. So...
you might be the mayor for that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we are 198 years old, the borough,
Jeez.
Coaldale. So...
I think someone voted for our borough council president when I ran.
So yeah, I'm always open to talking with them, and like I said, I always go into conversations, meetings with an open mind. Like I said, a resident from here told me that when I had said, yeah, let's just knock down all the buildings. We're gonna take care of blight. It wasn't just that easy. He said, what about the tax base? And you learn that one.
Yeah, right. Just stuff you don't know, you're like, oh, yeah.
So
There's one more question.
I don't mind. Hey,
Yeah.
as long as you guys want to stay, I'll stay. Let's do it.
Somebody just asked if you could ask the street department on the repainting of the parking spots on 6th Street, when that will happen.
By the Viennese.
By the VMEs.
Villa.
Viennese, not...
Viennese Villa.
Yes.
Repainting of lines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Okay, that will be streets department as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we have to do to get to paint the flower girl down there, the mightiest flower girl in the borough? How does that? What does that entail? Coming down to a meeting and having somebody say, "Hey, I have 20 volunteers, paint and everything."
Is that borough property or?
I would assume so.
It's
yeah.
the borough building.
Yeah, it's the borough's. It's their building. Where they keep the trucks and all that crap.
Oh, the 5th Street garage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that the girl that's on the side of that garage building there, that's all faded,
Yeah.
That's just that side.
Like a welcome to Coaldale.
Yeah, right on the side of that. Color it up, vibrancy. We need color and vibrancy here. That's my big thing.
I know that was being talked about. I don't know if it's went anywhere. I haven't heard anything, but I know there was talk about that because we've seen this other places. Lansford, when you're coming, it's right across the street from coal miners. I know when you come out to 09.
Yeah, they have that beautiful mural there.
Yeah, so that's
right. That's what we need.
Yeah.
This guy here says, "I will sign a no-charge contract, and I'm insured up to $3 million." So I'm telling you, we've got the people, the paint. Everyone's willing to do it. So it's just a matter of how do we make that happen? Right? Who do we get permission from? To go to the borough council?
It will be the council, yeah.
And pay all expenses. This guy's offered to pay all the expenses.
I think that would be something really nice.
Right.
Something different.
Good
So you gotta
community
go
day.
next meeting?
Yeah. Come to the next meeting.
No, I'm not going to go. I know this fellow. He's going to go. He's going to make it. I know this man. He'll tell it.
I think that would be really nice. It shows like art in Coaldale.
Right? It's starting to come together. Let's start doing something colorful, some art, something. It doesn't have to be a change of that sign at all. Just redo it, make it the same colors, but brighten it up, and at the top, welcome to Coaldale. Yeah. We don't need to do anything different to it.
Yeah, I think that
you
would
just
be cool.
make it the same, but brighten it up. Right? Everybody coming down will see that.
It's a start.
It's a start, right?
I like
That's
that.
a
Yeah.
start.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Because so much comes up this street. Let's make it beautiful.
Okay.
Start there. And then, like, when I was telling you earlier about the farmer's market, like, what goes into having to do a farmer's market down at the complex? Like, what do I have to do to start to initiate that kind of deal?
I don't know if you would need a permit. I'm not sure. Like I said, that's not really my forte. You know, I can always ask and get an answer in a couple of days.
The mural on Fifth Street garage is taken from an old photo of an advertisement that was actually on the building.
Wait, there's more questions.
Hey, bring them.
Get this done.
I don't have to
Send me
work.
the info, and he'll submit my insurance, and he'll submit his insurance. So
I don't have to work till 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
There you go.
So I got some time.
The question is, how come West High Street between 4th and 5th, reverse that, 5th and 4th have no parking lines? I guess another question for the streets department.
Right.
4th and 5th.
West High Street between 5th and 4th, there are no parking lines.
Okay. No parking line. Okay. Yep, street department. It is again. Okay.
Like some of this painting and stuff can't be done obviously till spring, right? Clearly, spring, summertime when it's warm out and all that other crud. All the crud's melted away. Any other questions out there, Pebble?
There's one more.
What do we got?
Somebody did ask about New York.
Okay. What about New York?
That was just, what about New York? That's the question. I don't know what.
Yeah,
It just said, what about New York?
Can you be more specific?
Nope, because I have no idea what it means.
No,
Alright,
no.
so-
Yeah, that's what they asked. What about New York?
Okay, so I was born in New York. I was born in Manhattan, and I spent a lot of my adolescent years in Spanish Harlem. Then I moved to. I have two daughters. I have one who's 32 years old. I'm 50 years old, and I moved up to Massachusetts for a couple of years. That's when I met her mother, and she still lives in Massachusetts. She was in the Marines for 10 years. She lived in Okinawa, Japan. She lived in Hawaii. She was stationed in California. And then she's back up in Massachusetts now. I have two grandbabies, Ashton and Zalea. Zalea's 8, Ashton is 5 years old. And then I lived, like I said, Massachusetts from, I think, 1990 to about 95. Then I moved back to New York for 2 years. And then I moved to Allentown, Pennsylvania in 1997. So I've been in Pennsylvania total, I don't know, 20, almost 30 years now. In Allentown, I did a lot of community service. I worked in the Boys and Girls Club. I was an educational assistant. That was one of my first jobs in '97. I worked for political groups. One of them was called Working America. I worked there for some good months. Did a lot of door knocking. I think we used to knock on about 75 doors a day times 5 days a week. Yeah. So part of the groups that I was a part of, either working or volunteering, it was to, of course, elect candidates. I'm bipartisan. I will work with third party political parties, Green Party, Libertarian, because I believe that our goal is all the same. Fight the blight, fight against crime, community participation, all that good stuff. So when I got sworn in, actually, I had invited Bob Perrin. I invited him. He came. Miss Mary Mack. I invited her. She came with her husband. I invited a couple of my friends from Allentown. One was a constable. One is a retired lawyer. The other one is my karate sensei. I used to be into martial arts back from 2012 to 2018 because I worked in a lot of nightclubs and I dealt with a lot of different people. So my background is security, law enforcement is what my big background is. I have an associate's degree in applied science, criminal justice from Northampton Community College, and 7 classes away from my bachelor's degree in criminal justice from DeSales University there in Central Valley. I got a lot of different trainings when it comes to like security work, and I have gotten some pretty good trainings as a constable. So I was a constable for 10 years in Allentown. And then when I moved up to Coaldale, I resigned because you have to be a constable where you live in your district. If not, you have to resign. Just like any other, you're a council person and you live in Lansford and you can't be a council person here. You got to be in Lansford.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
So, what else? All right, I'll tell you.
That's all the questions.
Yeah.
I'll tell you more. I don't mind. All right.
I'll read his whole resume.
I was a member of the New York City Guardian Angels at age 15. Times Square was the headquarters, Hell's Kitchen. We patrolled that in the trains. I was a member of the Philadelphia Guardian Angels from 2000 to 2001. I was part of the Allentown Weed and Seed Public Safety Committee member. This was in 2007 to 2008.
Weed and seed.
Yeah.
What kind of weed are we talking about?
Not that one.
All right.
Fugitive recovery agent in Allentown from 2000 to 2021. Because you don't work full time as a bounty hunter. You whenever they call you, you get 10% of the bounty if you capture this guy. So it was kind of one of those things that, hey, I saw Dog the Bounty Hunter. I kind of want to do that. It's cool. And we did some cases and it was a great experience.
Nice.
I already said about the education assistant in the Allentown Boys and Girls Club. I was also a member of the Acorn. They're now defunct group. It was Associations for Community for Reform Now, I think they were called. Mm-hmm. I was a canvasser, event person. When I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, I said an educational assistant for a year and a half. This was 96 to 1998. And then I also had volunteered I did 100 hours at Camp Horseshoe in 1996, which was for kids.
We volunteered to do that?
To work as an assistant to the staff members there at the camp. Mm-hmm. I think I think that's about it. That's a lot of my community
Right.
stuff that I've done, a lot of volunteer stuff, fighting crime. I'm a boots on the ground guy, and I've patrolled Allentown streets, through the alleys with the drug dealers and everything. So that's what type of person I am. We used to like record the drug dealers doing drug deals and all that, and we worked with the police. Caught some people running from the police that had guns and all that stuff, and brawls and everything. So a lot of my background is that type of stuff. You know, so that's kind of it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of info. Did anyone in your borough council know you're doing this?
Here?
Yeah. Other than what I've announced to
I don't think so.
Nobody said anything to you about it. Nice.
No.
Nice.
I thought it was time, thanks to you.
Right.
I thought it was time that I did meet the residents, because I know there's a lot of people that are not familiar with me. They don't even know me at all, and like I said, I'm a very open person. I just ask you, don't attack me and blame me for stuff. I'm in the same boat. I live here only 3 years, but I feel the same thing. And I know the pain of what drugs and, a blighted community goes through. When I was with the Guardian Angels, that was during like the height of the crack epidemic. Mm-hmm. So we seen blighted buildings, we seen drugs, we seen pimps, there was crime, there was needles, there was people shooting up right there. And, so I know what you're feeling. I've seen it. I grew up poor. And I learned a lot. I grew up in the streets too. So, I've seen a lot, I know a lot, and I still learn every day. And I'm just trying to help because I live here too.
Right. And it's like sometimes it feels like you're in a boat and and all these people want to help, but they don't want to help by picking up the paddle and helping you row. Mm-hmm. Right. That's what we need. We need the rowers now. Everybody needs to get in a row. You, me, anybody who wants to run for the new council for next year, anybody who wants to do any work to revitalize this community, we need the rowers now. Now is rowing time. This is when we make it happen. The spring is coming. Revitalization time is now. So
it's going to happen. There's thousands of other boroughs and cities and towns all over the United States that have their share of issues.
Yeah.
Whether it's blighted downtown, blighted anything, businesses leaving for somewhere else, like we together can do it. And I know that it's an uphill battle, but it's very doable. It is very doable. Unfortunately, things just take time. And I know that everybody shares that same goal to make their place better to live.
Yeah.
I love Coaldale. Coaldale, when I first moved to Coaldale, I wasn't going to get into politics or anything. I actually had surgery. And I came to Coaldale and I was just going to recoup and then start my business back up and just live my life. And then I started paying attention to politics here. And actually, when I first moved here, it was in February 2022. Mm-hmm. And I used to cut up to go to Boyer's, cut up to the side of the pool. And I'm like, oh, great. I like to swim. And then I saw the pool and I'm like, oh, great. I can't wait for May. And then May came and then June came and then July. And I'm like, what's going on? So then I started reading the newspaper. I started talking to my neighbors and I'm like, what's up with the pool? They said, oh, it's been closed almost 9 years now. Really? And then I started getting involved and I went to a few meetings with the Friends of Lansford Pool. And then I started getting more involved. And then there was the primary election for council. Mm-hmm. And then I remember former councilwoman Stofey wasn't going to run again. Right. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me try. Right. I didn't think that a small town, because you're not known, would elect
An
an unknown person,
outsider, unknown, yeah.
even though they said that they wanted new blood.
Mm-hmm.
But I always feel, and that's what I love about a small town, like everybody kind of knows everybody.
Yeah.
And you get like that home type feeling. Like, you know, when I see my neighbors, hey, Eric, how you doing? And, hey, you want coffee? You want, I love that.
Yeah.
In a big city like New York, you don't get that.
Nobody's walking right by you.
And even in Allentown, as I started to get older, I like more peace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a peaceful person.
Yeah.
And I like to not complain about the problem. I said I have to jump in and help. So that's where the whole Allentown community stuff started.
Right.
And in Coaldale, I feel alive. I feel good. Mm-hmm. And it's really sparked my mind to, you know, with like really great ideas and stuff like that. So, but like I said, I talk a lot. I'll have you guys here till like 12 midnight.
Yeah, right. It's time to go to bed. Time is it? Oh, it's only 8:41. No big deal.
So I'm an open book. I'm telling you who I am, what I'm about, what I'm trying to do. I'm not the best speaker. I'm myself, and like I said, I'm going to bat for you guys a lot.
No email contacts for borough members on the borough website. I guess because most of our borough council members don't understand email, right?
I'm bad for that too. I'm very bad for that. I usually get emails on my personal email. Mm-hmm. I get phone calls here and there at the borough hall. I know Marcy.
Somebody will leave a message for you. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Marcy has actually texted me and said this person is looking to get in contact with you. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind that. If you want to call, there's an issue. You know, I like I said, if I don't have an answer, I'll look for the answer for you. Please bear with me. I can't, you know, snap my fingers and have it done tomorrow. You know, but I'm persistent.
Right.
I am very persistent. I do call and I do ask questions. And
there you have. This person wants to know about being able to email appropriate chairperson with concerns. So each chairperson, committee lead, maybe you should have their email available so the public can say, hey, blah, 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 or hey, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I know there's generally a cost with each email address, so maybe just have one, like customer service.
You go to put CBC
right,
Adamitis at gmail.com.
Yeah, but that's
put that up there.
Right, but that's there's a cost for each address.
We have
Gmail is free.
You don't want it on Gmail. No, it has. If you're going to do it through the website.
Well, yeah, if you do it through the website, but you can put it on. You don't. It doesn't cost anything to cut and paste an email address and put it on a website.
You
no,
want it secure because of it being.
But if it's somebody asking a question,
correct.
It's not like you're sending.
So then you just have one email. Just have one email, and then it just.
No, everybody. It's this time of year. Each person, whoever's the chair committee, should have their own email address. Mm-hmm. Come on, we're at this time. Come on. It's not 1992 where we're just getting email. 3 is too many. We just do one. No, everybody should have. Every person who's on borough council should have an email available, and the chairperson who should be listed in their email address.
Who is in charge of the website?
It would have been the secretary. I can you guys too. Or I can call. I'll call Marcia tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying her name right? Marsha. I'll ask her about that because I know I have an email, but not too many people know it for the borough.
Right.
I know it's like Eric Ramirez, I think at borough.net or something like that.
Right, coaldaleborough.net or something like that. Yeah, it's an easy. There should be one set up already so you can have that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not going to. It's not like people are sending your borough council members their bank account or social security. It's to ask a question. Yeah. Right. You can have a general email that's just borough related for asking general questions. You're not getting. Right. You're not. People don't send your info. Ask a question. You ask a question.
You never know. You want it
Look, if you're gonna send an email and send, if somebody wants to send him an email, then send him their personal information. That's their fault.
Well, again.
Hey, Eric, I want to know why the manhole cover isn't working. And by the way, here's my social security number. Right? I mean, who's going to do that?
Like, hey, do you mind? Can I send you a cheesesteak from coal miners?
Yeah, right. So you have an email, you just haven't, you just don't have the access or.
Oh, each member does have one.
Yeah, we do.
Each council has an email, so they just don't have it displayed so people can hit them. So it would be eramirez@coaldaleborough.net or whatever it is.
I think it's like PTD, something like that.
Yeah, whatever your call signal is at the end of it. So it just needs to be made available.
I welcome, of course, once the emails get displayed. Yeah, I'm open. Just send me an email. Call.
So on Coaldale's Facebook page, when something gets posted, who posts that?
That would be
is that like Marcia who does that? She's
Yeah.
she's kind of like the secretary, not really right now.
Yeah, she. I think the secretary is the administrator of that web page.
Of the Facebook page and of the website too,
so, yeah.
right? So the secretary or whoever can get into the website and make changes as necessary when you don't have to. You're not saying, hey, web guy who's in charge, ABC company, can you put our minutes up for next month and send them the minutes and then they go and they put it up. That doesn't happen. It's through the on-site.
Beth
right?
used to take care of all of that when she was with us.
Right.
So
yeah, but that's the thing. Your access to the website is available to you here in Coaldale. You're not sending information to somebody off-site who's then uploading it to the webpage. Right.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know about how it is now, but with Beth, she would post and then
Put it all
emails.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know about now. I honestly I haven't gotten to that discussion with Marsha.
So email. So your website is designed by an outside company, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any changes to the website, do you have to contact the company and have them do it? Or are you able to go in and do whatever needs to be done for
Honestly,
it?
I really...
Right, because I imagine if you're having a company do it, then they're going to be writing code versus a WordPress website where you can kind of cut and paste everything you need. It's almost like you can walk through and figure it out.
Yeah. I like I said, I like to be honest. I don't know the
You don't know the answer then? Yeah. Okay.
I will find it out. So, because that's important. Emails. Any more questions?
I don't think so.
No, just
That's
no
about
more
it.
questions. Just comments off of things that we're discussing.
Yeah. Love the emails, but I think that wraps it up, right? We got the community meeting on Wednesday, 6:30. The doors open at the Angelus. 7:00 the meeting starts. Anybody who wants to run to be a candidate, please come and you have the floor. You'll be able to say a couple words if you'd like. Rich will be here as well, so he will have all the sign-up paperwork that you need and everything you need, and there'll even be people here to help sign your papers. And I even believe a notary will be here to notarize this, so you can do all of this in probably one day or something like that. If that's even legal, I'm not sure. People from CHOES will be here to speak with you. If anyone is interested in CHOES volunteering. And bring your ideas how you're going to rebuild Coaldale. So we need people, bring your paddles and let me know what you want to see, if you want to do it, how you want to do it, and things that you want to see happening here in Coaldale. But other than that, Mary, you got any closing words?
That's not really. I think I spoke too much.
No, I think you did a great job. You did it. You got your information out, and people needed to see it. And people can go back and watch this again later, obviously, and do what they need to do to. But I think you can get some people behind you. I think you should come in again in like another month, and we'll go over the questions and see if you have what answers you come up with.
Okay.
See what you can come up with that way.
Yeah, because there's a couple of things that I'm working on. I actually would like to research. I know, like I said, in Allentown, the school buses, they have a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody, I guess if this continues to be a problem, see how we can get cameras on those school buses. Because, running the stop sign on the school bus like that, that's like very unsafe, you know. And
so for the mural, the only thing we have to come in and present it that we want to do this before the borough council, and then they have to vote on whether or not we can do it.
Yeah.
We can't just show up and do it. because then
it's borough property.
It's borough property, and then it calls brouhaha. We need to come before the council, get permission, and set a date. This is what we're going to do it. And that way, and even though that way we can set a date and have people, okay, May 15th, Saturday at 8 a.m., everybody wants to come paint the mural down at the borough, come on down. Or even if you say, okay, we need people from 8 to 11, and then from 11 to 1, and then, that way we don't have 25 people and then 15 are standing around just watching, right? And everybody can come and take a break. You don't have to spend all day there.
And I think what would be nice to have kind of like the sketch drawn out, even in the colors.
Right,
like
what it would
a
look
rough
like.
draft. Yeah, what it would look like. And then, because it's like a picture sells the story. You know, instead of, we would like to do this, and then they're like, well, like, look, and then, it'll catch the eye, and then it'll be like, you know what, that's beautiful.
You can generate an AI, generate a picture of it.
Of how it's going to look.
How it's going to look.
And I think that'd be really, really nice. So, besides that, like I said, I'll be announcing if I'm going to be running or not soon.
Again, announce it next month when you come in.
True.
Right.
True. Yeah, because the petitions have to be in March 11th.
Right.
At the voter registration, school county voter registration office there on, Main Street?
Right. Center
Main
Street.
Street. Yeah. There in Pottsville.
Brent, we have to come in and present to the borough council for approval the paint. So
At the next meeting.
The next meeting, which is Tuesday.
I think it's March, is it 11th?
Could be.
Second Tuesday.
March, it would be March 11th.
March 11th. So March 11th,
PM.
Brent, that's when we go to the borough council and ask them permission to paint the building that we're paying for. Right?
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And have a good night. And bless you. And tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
And keep on
Keeping on. And don't forget, Wednesday, bring your paddles. Community meeting at the Angela Theater at 6:30. Doors open. 7 o'clock. The meeting kicks off. All right. Thank you, guys. And thank you, sir. Pleasure speaking
You're
with you.
welcome.
Adios.